We'll try this.
Oh.
Right, so I'm assuming you have watched Tales That Witness Madness.
Yep.
Right, so we'll break it down. While my draft Guinness settles down. So, what did you think to the dubbing by Charles Gray of Jack Hawkins' voice?
Didn't really notice it.
Well, if you listen closely,
It is.
yeah, it's Charles. It is Charles Gray. Thomas, he's just been. Sake. I'd lovely settled earlier on. Right, so we'll start with story number 1, which is the kid with the imaginary tiger. My you realise you got your thumb up at lens or something. That's it. I mean, Donald Houston gives a very good performance, and the name of the actress who plays the journalist in Nothing But the Night gives a very good performance. I would say of the 4 stories, that's the strongest. What the second one, the one with Peter McHenry and the Uncle Albert and the time travelling penny farthing bike. I've no idea what it's about. I killed Uncle Albert. It was me. So what do you think of the boy with the imaginary tiger first?
Yeah, that's the blood is obviously fake, isn't it?
Well, it's most probably
It's
probably
famous.
Kensington Gore.
Yeah.
I would say it's a good story. I'm still confused over the Uncle Albert one though. I like the time traveling element. I just don't understand what the fuck it's all about.
He just gets the bag of pedals and stuff in fucking. And then for the comical looks about Glad, but the picture's funny.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like.
I don't understand. I mean, why is Uncle? Oh, hang on. I might have had just had a flashback. It's a bit like. It's like one of those stories beginning and end that's like in a loop. So, let's say he has taken possession of this bike before, and something's gone off where he has been burnt. Somehow it starts somehow his spirit is sent back into Victorian times as a burnt Uncle Albert. He's reborn as himself without any awareness of what's happened, and of course it gets to the end where there's this bloody bicycle is the link, and he don't want it to end, and somehow he ends up setting fire to its shop, and Uncle Albert impaling his girlfriend with the dagger, with the sword. So when the fire service turn up and the police, looks like he's killed her, and he's just on the floor raving, "I killed Uncle Albert. It was me. I killed him. It was Uncle Albert." And I'm going, what the fuck's all this about? So then, like, we get to the third story, which is currently on now. Which I told you before. I mean, Joan Collins, in especially in the prime, was a nice bit hot toddy. I mean, let's not forget that scene from Tales from the Crypt when she runs down the stairs. You know what I mean? I mean, who in their right mind? I mean, now I'm looking at Joan Collins on the bed wearing a sexy doll nightie, with her hair done beautiful. And he's busy waxing this supposedly female-shaped tree trunk, which has somehow got emotions for him, and is jealous of her. What is it about? I mean, how do you interpret the one with the tree? Fuck's sake.
Oh, first drink in 2 weeks. Lovely.
So how do you interpret the Joan Collins one?
It's not bad. It's he brings a tree. He sort of tends to it. You know, more than his wife.
Yeah, I know which I'd rather be tending to, Joan Collins. But I suppose it's. I mean, I think my favourite one though. Will you sit down? You're making me go fucking dizzy. You go around like a fucking, like a wibbly wobbly.
In kitchen.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So the. Ooh. She's now taking a baby doll nightie off, and is calling him to the boudoir. And of course, I think he's now got an affection. Let's pause it here. So, Matt, okay. Tales that Witness Madness. What is your review of the film out of 10? I'll give it 6.
You give it 6.
Maybe 6.5. Because it is not nowhere is it near or close to the excellence of Dr. Terrace House of Horrors, Torture Garden, From Beyond the Grave, Asylum, or Tales from the Crypt. I mean, they are like top quality.
give it maybe, yeah, between maybe 6.5, 7.
Yeah, we're in the same ballpark anyway. That's the main thing.
It's interesting.
I agree with them, but I mean it was one of my recommendations to you. That it's not the best, but it's not the worst of its kind. What is called a portmanteau film, meaning it's I mean the house that's in the last story with Kim Novak. That house looks bloody fantastic. But I have, in that Real Streets is a very good website, because that'll tell you where that house is. Like in Dark Places, which I put in my old Blu-ray DVD player, the one that won't play Blu-rays. Because of that, Tales at Witness Madness Blu-ray, Curse of Crimson Altar Blu-ray, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Hobbit, an Unexpected Journey, unfortunately, is now in a DMBC dump it site somewhere. That's the exact one that I've got. And when you do watch it, I want another Just My Day review. Check out the documentary on it with the gore. Well, I don't know when it was filmed, but who plays Mark Eden's love interest, Virginia Wetherill, who was, I believe, is the widow of Ralph Bates. She's gorgeous in that. She's still gorgeous in the interview, which I guess would have been done about 2005. What did I watch the other day? Interview. It was one of the Tygon films. Oh, I'll tell you something, Jeff. I'm not joking, right? The Tygon Coffin box set. It's got 6 films in it. The Haunted House of Horror. Brilliant film. I had Bob, me and Gusher guessing who the killer was.
Good people in the abandoned mansions, isn't it?
Yeah, but oh, what a cast! What a cast! Richard O'Sullivan, Robin Stewart, George Sewell. There's quite a few. I can't remember offhand. But what a cast! Really, really, really good film. And there was another one. Oh, Gordon Bennett. Oh, what was it now? No, this is another one. It was Inseminoid, which is a Norman J. Warren film. One of the films in that, which I don't think Gusher didn't really enjoy it, but I liked it. It stars Martin Potter, Michael Gough, the gorgeous Candice Glendenning, and as I said in the videos earlier on, the actress who plays the "You Can Still Love Me," "You Can Still Love Me" from Monster Club. She's in it. That's a good film. But in Seminoid, it's a weird film. It's like these people are working in these mines, It was apparently filmed in Chislehurst Caves because there's a documentary about it with showing Judy Geeson from I think 2004, and then she still looks good. I won't say she looks that good now, like, because 18 years on. But Stephanie Beacham's in that, and they're going into these caves, and they see these red gems on the floor, and then some on the wall starts glowing, and it splurts towards this bloke's helmet, and I think that probably was the inspiration for Alien. Then Judy Geeson's character goes in afterwards. She gets knocked out or something, and then she gets inseminated with this alien egg, and then she gives birth to this thing, and becomes part alien herself. So, what films have you got? You've got Blood Beast Terror ordered, have you?
Ordered.
Yeah, it's. I take it as a film goes. Like The Creeping Flesh is another good one. If you haven't think about that one. That stars Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and a cameo. Oh, it stars. I'll tell you, it stars. It stars the. He's in two films that I can think of. Now, I saw him something else. One of them is he plays the mute who has his tongue cut out in Captain Clegg, and he plays the manservant in the second Dr. Phibes film, the one that he gets killed by the trick telephone. He sees that snake on the pool table or the snooker table, and it turns out to be a toy. And then when he sees another one, even though it's a reticulated python, it bites him on the arm, and of course he starts sucking it out like it's venomous, and it's not venomous. It's only a bloody reticulated python. Him. Yeah. Yeah, he's in that. He plays an escaped because they bring this skeleton back from one of his exhibitions, and Christopher Lee's character is his brother or half brother, and he has something over Peter Cushing's character because he funds all his expeditions, and they're both wanting this top scientific prize called the Richter Prize. He's got one on people being loonies and the theories behind it, and he's got this mythical skeleton that's kind of legend, and he discovers that if any water gets on any part of the bones, that the flesh regenerates, and the bit of this water goes on a finger, and he's mortified, so he chops the finger off. But he takes a sample of the blood, which is different because he has it under a microscope, and to test his theory, he injects it into his daughter while she's asleep. Of course, it turns his daughter crazy, and she escapes into the rough parts of the nearby town, and hooks up with that character who was the his tongue cut out by Captain Clegg in obviously Captain Clegg, and him, that bald bloke, and Christopher Lee's character, in the meantime, in the middle of a storm, goes back to Peter Cushing's house to steal this skeleton because he wants it to really win this prize, this Richter prize.
It's like me breaking into your house to steal your pan and curry.
You swallowed pan and all. Well, as he's escaping from Peter Cushing's house, they hit a stone or something, and the carriage overturns. And of course, the rain's coming in. What happens? It regenerates all the flesh on the bones of this prehistoric skeleton. Then we see that the shadow of this thing heading back to Peter Cushing's house. Also, in the meantime, Christopher Lee wakes up and he sods off back to the asylum where he runs the place. Then Cushing sees this thing come into the house, and we think at that point he's been killed. But then it cuts back to Peter Cushing in this white cell with all the Bunsen burn. What the? Is that for chicken breast?
For hot and spicy. Lovely.
What's... Jesus.
Mexican rice.
Well, apparently there's supposed to be some bird's eye chili enhanced sausages at Asda. Someone were telling me, but I couldn't find the fuckers when I was there. He said they weren't strong enough. I got a friend who's work at the airport called Mark Bollins. He lives at somewhere near Beacon Hotel with his elderly parents, but I couldn't find him. Oh, he's now digging the pit for the fire in the garden. This is the Kim Novak story. And then she's asking if she can be taken to the airport to see her friends in Nice. Oh, she's nice. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward. I'm going to update my list. That's the list for the P&J session. Then I'll probably have to end up writing it out neat, so I can do like a tick chart, so I'll tick it as we watch them. I neglected to add some of the ones from the Tygon box set, the Norman J. Warren box set, and the Pete Walker box set. The Pete Walker one is very good. I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen all of The Homecoming, which stars a scene called Jack Jones. I haven't seen Die Screaming Marianne. I have seen, and I recommend them, The House of Whipcord, which stars Patrick Barr from The Flesh and Blood show as a blind man who seeks morality on the loose women of the various clubs in London. He owns an old former prison, and they all end up being hanged for being loose women. One of the warders is a chillingly cold Shirley Keith, who is also in another excellent Pete Walker film, The House of The Frightmare. and Rupert Davis, who plays the priest in the bishop, sorry, in Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. As I said to Gusha, we watched Blood on Satan's Claw, which is in the Tygon box set, alongside the Witchfinder General. And one of the actors in that plays the lead role in Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. She won't be impressed with that one, Blood on Satan's Claw, even though it's got Patrick Wymark, him who supplies Peter Cushing with all the Bluebeard's knife and Marquis de Sade's skull in the skull. As you well know, he's got a cameo in Witchfinder General as Cromwell. Ian Ogle is in that one. Well, oh my god, man. The list of viewing pleasures is fantastic. I mean, Blood Beast Terror, you won't be disappointed. Van der Veltman, Glyn Edwards as one of the as a police sergeant. Roy Hood as a sarcastic but funny mortuary attendant. I'm not sure who plays his daughter in it. The bloke who plays basically, in a nutshell, Blood Beast Terror, Van der Veltman is a bit like, well, it's a bit like the Reptile. I mean, in the Reptile, which is exactly the same film set as Plague of the Zombies, except you don't see the tin mines. Jacqueline Pierce is part human, part cobra. How in all that is holy that was ever achieved, even in Victorian times, defies logic. But Jacqueline Pierce, who's also in Plague of the Zombies, in The Reptile, which stars John Laurie as well from Dad's Army, and Michael Ripper as the innkeeper, because in Plague of the Zombie is a police sergeant. I think that's where I get Gardener's Arms from. Is from The Reptile. In Blood Beast Terror, Van der Veltman's character is part human, part moth. So every now and again, when she's shedding new skin, she goes into a cocoon, and she becomes, and when his friend who has created this part human, part moth thinks the game's up, because they're finding these giant feathers nearby, and one bloke's going, well, that's impossible. He said, well, I've only ever seen this on this certain moth, but this is like 20 times the size. It don't make any sense. So the bloke who plays the mad scientist, he flees to another place. Then Peter Cushing's character, who's a detective, goes to the station. He goes, right, where did this? Fuck me! I'm surprised, Jeff. You've left the pattern on the plate.
Oh, it's delicious. It's about 68% of your daily allowance in calories. That 2/3.
Yeah. Well, tonight we've had. Well, Friday when I got back, I got I got 2 tubs of curry out at shed. One was a one per. Well, for me, food would be a snack, but it's like a equivalent to a one equivalent to what you would get from a takeaway in volume, and it was enough for me. Uh, the next one was obviously enough there for 2 or 3 people. Well, in your case, again, what would be a snack. We've had that tonight. Oh, I don't understand my old man because he says, "Oh, I won't do it in bulk because it loses its flavour." It don't lose its flavour. There's about 6 chicken breasts in that. It lasts us about 2 or 3 weeks. Same with chili. You know, I always do too much. Get it bulked up. Oh, right. Let's pause it. So I'm going to update, say, the list. So what films have you ordered then that I've recommended you to get? If you can remember what you have, in your own words, secured.
Flesh and Blood Show,
Good.
Blood on Satan's Claw.
Oh yeah, that's in the Tygon box set.
Bloodsuckers.
Oh my god! I'll tell you something, right, Jeff. This is my review. It's like with a lot of these films. When I wanted fresh blood for my collection, obviously I've got the majority of the main targets, the obvious targets. I would either search by genre, or by actor, or by studio, and that's how I've come across the Flesh and Blood Show, the Uncanny, Dark Places, which it's not an original copy. I looked at it, and you can tell it's a CD disc that's been burnt because it's kind of got that purple hue where the burning process has happened. But it's not a bad film. Dark Places, very psychological. There's a Wikipedia page about it which explains the plot. Not much of a cast. Herbert Lom, Christopher Lee, Joan Collins, Peter Cushing, and a lot of it was filmed around Denham, as I said in my video. And we weren't far from where he comes out the pub, where he meets the bank manager. It was probably a bank, but you can see it says the Swan. And I'm sure I took a picture of the Swan. And so a lot of it was filmed around Denham. When Robert Hardy's character is met at the train station by an actor I've seen before. He was one of the grave diggers at the end scene of Raise the Titanic. Really, really hound dog face on him. A bit like Sam Kidd, but it's not Sam Kidd. Yeah, but a lot of filmed around Denham. That's where I kept noticing on these films. Process at the rank film processing places, Denham, which became deluxe. But in the age of the digital world, there wasn't any demand for any film processing your laboratories anymore, so that shut down about seven years ago. What was formerly the Denham Studios. So that's how I found a lot of these films. And I went after them. And Bloodsuckers, oh my, brilliant. The locations are just fantastic. So it starts off, I think it's Oxford, a fictional university in Oxford, and this bloke turns up who I've seen before. He's got look up Dominic on him, but it's not the actor who plays Dominic in the House That Drip Blood. And he's summoned to the university. I think he meets Peter Cushing. He says, "Look, yeah." But he looks like him, but it's not the actor who would play him. He's just got I've seen him something before. I can't place him. And he's look basically Patrick the character played by Patrick Mower is aired by the authorities that he's got involved in this cult played by led by character, I can't really pronounce the name, Carissa or something, or Chrissia, played by Imogen Hassel. And it's either, I'm not sure, it's probably in Greece or Cyprus. And Patrick Macnee plays a really good part in it. Georgia Brown, that's her. That's her who played the journalist in Nothing But the Night. And she died pretty young. You know, I think she died sometime in the 70s, so she wasn't that old when she died. And Susan Kendall played Peter McHenry's girlfriend in the Uncle Albert scene. Very nice. Yeah, so they go to Cyprus or Greece. For the sake of argument, it's Greece. And they find, obviously, Patrick Mower's character is in a really bad way. He's been almost seduced by Carissa and all sorts of shit going on. She falls to her death, but her spirit lives on. Then you think, all right, it's all over. Oh no, it isn't over. Back in some lovely scenery. It must be somewhere near Twickenham or Shepperton, but looks like River Thames. The scenes there, the scenes back at university where he looks all right, but it is good. You'll like Bloodsuckers. So what else have you had after Flesh and Blood Show, Bloodsuckers, Blood Beast Terror? What else have you secured?
Blood and Satan's Claw.
Brilliant. Linda Hayden, the gorgeous Linda Hayden, WPC Elizabeth Bradley. She has a nude scene in that where she's plays a character called Angel. Sam Williams is in that, the one who is in the first story of The Uncanny, one where him and the maid are trying to get his mother's will, the last copy of the will, which just gives him one last good meal at a restaurant because that's all he deserves. He's in that one. But she has a nude scene where she goes into church to try and seduce the vicar. And she's there, small but pert tits, typical 1970s trimmed bush. The vicar basically rejects her. But then Angel tries to get the back on the vicar by going to her father that the vicar tries to seduce her. But when another victim turns up, they realise it's not the vicar, it's Angel, played by Linda Hayden. And Michelle Dottris is in that. And who plays, I said, the groupie who gets in the pantomime horse with Robin Asquith in Confessions of a Pop Performer, and appears again with the blonde friend from Birmingham in Confessions from a Holiday Camp. She gets raped at a satanic orgy in the woods, and as he turns over, so she's on top. He shoots his muck in her, and then Angel stabs her back with a pair of shears. It's a right orgy fest. Just like